Ooh, welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast Pregame Periscope. For Thursday Night Football. We're doing it live here in Circa, Las Vegas. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer Dog?
Shout! I mean, we're live somewhere.
Yes,
so we this is not a green screen.
No,
we are in Vegas. We are at the Circa. Beautiful, by the way, Sean.
Amazing.
I don't use the words beautiful about too many things that aren't a woman. This is beautiful.
It is, and we got tons of props. We got our whole prop sheet going. We got a beer, got a little JMO ready to go.
Should we start with a cheers?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Salud. Hoping to have our boy Derek Stevens come on. Of course, the owner of the Circa, and his buddy as well, Mike Palm. So, jam-packed show. We're going to be talking, obviously breaking down this Colts Titans game, but of course answering your questions. You guys want to talk a little shop?
We do questions.
Week 10 NFL. It's here, Ryan. If you missed it, make sure you check out the Sports Gambling Podcast, our NFL Picks podcast.
I have multiple D-Gens only props to give out tonight, Sean.
Oh, wow.
Multiple. Went against the rules.
Baby.
I'll be sprinkling bets throughout the show because, of course, we're what 30 minutes until kickoff. Yep. Titans, Colts. How do we start? Do we sprinkle like a little first TD action? Do we sprinkle a little prop action?
Well, let's just maybe we start.
Do we drink some more whiskey
with the game? Of course, we're actively drinking, so maintaining the social distance, Ryan. That's important here in these times.
We are in the penthouse. What you can't see behind us is the full staff of people, security and all, keeping the masses away from us.
Derek hooked it up. We got a nice little spot here in the catbird seat, and again, can't sell this place enough. The screens are gigantic. I think you can kind of see in the view how huge those things are. I mean, we're gonna be posting some pics and videos on that as well. But let's get to it, Ryan. To me, and shout out to our boy Munaf throwing out some stats there.
Hell yeah.
I just think it comes down to I don't really believe in this Titans defense. That's what it is. The Titans passing defense has just been complete shit. And I know the Colts, they got Noodles sorry, I called them Noodles. Rivers
Noodle arm.
And the Noodle arm. That's a bit of an issue, but I think they're going to be able to move the ball on this Titans team, especially throwing to the running backs out of the backfield. I think they're going to be able to get it going. And you watch what the Colts, what the Bears did against the Titans. They were able to shut them down, and this Colts run defense is very good. Shout out to CBS Sports HQ pointing out how good Phillip Rivers is against the spread on short rest. I think he's like 7-0-1. Coming the other way, Tannehill just doesn't do well on short rest. I think they're going to be able to bottle up Derrick Henry a little bit. I know it's crazy throwing that out there, Ryan, but how do you see this game shaking out?
Not crazy at all. And you gave me an opportunity to give out a first bet. By the way, people wondering, yes, paper tickets in the pocket. We're doing it old fashioned, paid with cash too. It felt really good.
Went with 5 tickets. So if you had the over under on 4.5, the over cash for number of paper tickets.
Under first bet I'm giving out Derrick Henry under the rushing yards. I think they do bottle him up. I think you've probably heard a lot of smart people talk about what a great matchup this is for that defense. I think they bottle them up. I think they make it all about what Tannehill can do. So I'm going to take under. I saw, I think 82.5.
Yeah.
I don't have an updated line in front of me.
Well, he's coming off a game where I think he only had 86 against the Bears. Not a great performance by Derrick Henry. We already got some questions coming in, Ryan. Brad Martin wants to know, what is the best teaser tonight?
Oh, a single game teaser?
I mean, now that the spread's at like 1 going the other way, I think you tease Titans actually up to a full touchdown. Certainly you wouldn't want to tease the Colts off the -1, and that's what it is right here at the Circa. What if you were teasing the total over under? What are you doing, Ryan?
If I'm teasing the total, I'm teasing it to go under.
Yeah.
I think divisional game, I think short rest, and I think bottom line, the Colts defensive unit is the best unit on the field. So I'm going to lean under. And
Darius Leonard not on the injury report. That was huge. You saw what their defense is like with and without him. There's a huge difference. Darius Leonard is he's just a mad dog out there. I look for him to be involved near the line of scrimmage, making some plays and really limiting this Titans run game. And if the Titans can't get the run game going, they can't set up the play action. I mean, we saw what the Bears were able to shut this offensive their running game down, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Colts have similar luck.
It's the strength of, again, it's the run defense is the strength of the team. I think there's a couple of matchups like this weekend where you're going to see a stud run defense take on a team that needs to run the ball for the offense to work. I think we're going to see a preview of what that looks like tonight with the Titans maybe struggling a bit. Teaser alert, because I'm all in on the Colts. We told you on the podcast the wrong team was favored. You listened, you bet on the game, you adjusted it. Now the right team is favored.
The right team is favored, Ryan. We're moving lines out here. Of course, the best part about going to Vegas, real sportsbook, is you get these crazy, the legal pad size sheets. No 8.5 by 11. These are 8.5 by 14 inches of just pure DGen only action. Let's start throwing out some props that we like. Kramer, what do you got prop wise?
One, I gave you the Derrick Henry. Another prop I really like tonight, because I think Phillip Rivers is going to have some time to throw the ball. I like the over for Phillip Rivers in the completions world. I'm not going to play the yardage, but it's 24 completions. We know the way he likes to dink and dunk to the Trey Burtons.
Yes.
To the Naheem Hines of the world.
Jonathan Wilkins even getting involved in the passing game.
Jonathan Wilkins. And I think we might get introduced to rookie wide receiver out of USC, Mr. Michael Pittman tonight, who I'm predicting, Sean, and I'm going to give it out right now, my first DGens only play of the night, Michael Pittman to have 100 yards and a touchdown. Colts win the game 61-1.
Wow.
Let's fucking go. Sean's heading over there right now to get that
I'm going over to my bookie, checking out where you can get these insane DGen only prop bets, because I have a lot of sane prop bets. Ryan, I'm with you on the Rivers. We threw that out there when we were doing the Thrive Fantasy Thursday night game, our little like prop sheet there. I like the Rivers over completions, even though he has a noodle arm. That actually helps him in completions. Yeah. He can't throw the deep ball. He's not going to throw the deep ball. Doesn't matter. Intermediate check down stuff. You saw that game plan that Reich brought out against the Ravens. There was a lot of easy throws for Phillip Rivers. I think those are going to be there, and even maybe some of the intermediate, not deep stuff, but the intermediate media's, middle of the ground stuff as well. Trey Burton. I think we have a Trey Burton sighting. Jack Doyle is out. Alley Cox. Alley Long Cox is always involved when Phillip Rivers is out there.
This is like when you're watching a Bond movie and the top spy has done something wrong and they got to take him out. Jack Doyle, is being, as we know, international coxman of mystery. He's being taken out by Alley Cox in his own backyard, and now there's room for Trey Burton to flourish. Trey Burton, actually a contrarian play, I think, in the captain's chair. If you want to go showdown lineup tonight, people are looking at the trends and seeing how he's kind of trending down from an overall usage rate. I think Doyle being out, his use around the red zone, and by the way, Frank Wright is a smart man. He's just looking up the tape from Florida and saying, when we get near the goal line, Trey Burton is touching the ball because he knows how to find the end zone. Yeah, and they find weird, interesting ways to get Trey Burton involved. I'm looking at him. He's kind of an interesting first touchdown. You mean this ticket right here at plus 13 or plus 1285? What a very specific number. And the price has come down. It's listed at plus 1,800 on the sheet, and I think it's come down for a reason, because if you look at the red zone targets, if you look at the red zone usage, he plummets the wrong. He soars to the top of the list, whereas the rest of the field he's not heavily used. So I took a piece. Jonathan Wilkins, Magic Man Blanco, shout out to him, longtime friend of the program, asking who is the Colts running back to roll with tonight. They're going to tell you, Jonathan Taylor, he's still our guy, and maybe they get him involved. But Jonathan Wilkins, man, I like the way that guy's running, and I like Jonathan Wilkins' first touchdown. I actually got it on my ticket here. Plus 1220, Ryan. I got the same thing. And unlike on the podcast, Circa does not limit you to one first touchdown selection. No. Ryan's got multiple first touchdowns. I have Trey Burton for a quarter unit. I have Michael Pittman at 18-1 quarter unit, and I have a half unit on Mr. Wilkins to get that in. And because you bring up a good point with Wilkins, clearly Taylor in the doghouse. Yes. Right. Why would he not be? That fumble in that Ravens game cost them the game. Jordan Wilkins to get 2 touchdowns in this game. I'm getting ahead of myself here, but They are a running team. They are a team that likes to hand the ball off around the end zone. Kind of contradicts with the Burton ankle. But Jordan Wilkins, I think someone said Jonathan Wilkins. Jordan Wilkins to get 2 touchdowns is 25-1. That's interesting. That's not good enough for the D-Gens. Jordan Wilkins to have 2 touchdowns and 120 rushing yards. Take the elevator all the way to the penthouse because that is 202-1.
Wow,
202-1.
I'm going to co-sign with that, Ryan, because I'm just riding this Jonathan Wilkins train, and we'll see. Maybe it goes horrifically wrong, but certainly want a little taste of that Jonathan Wilkins.
Shout out to Jake Packwin over on Twitter, watching the Periscope.
Yeah, you see
hooking us up with great artwork with the Lock Dog Tees artwork. He's throwing out Pittman over 3 receptions, over 31 yards. Sean, I just went to the window. My biggest bet of the night, Michael Pittman to go over the yardage total, listed on the sheet at 36.5. I bet it just now at I think 32 or 33.5. I love that. I'm telling you, this is the come out. He is a Phillip Rivers receiver. He's a big guy. He's physical. He runs those routes that Phillip likes to throw to. His usage was going up, and then he got hurt. He's been back for a couple weeks. This is the game. Buy the stock before it's before everyone's on it, Sean. Well,
and besides Jonathan Wilkins, I think Nyheim Hines has a role in this offense. It'll probably come in the passing game, so I think he's a good start there in a DraftKings single game, certainly. But Nyheim Hines to have 100 rushing yards, 1 touchdown, and Colts win. That's 100-1, Ryan. Throw that in there. Oh, wow. I'm making that my D-Gen play.
I saw that, the rushing yards part. He's going to, if it was total yards, yes, please.
Yeah, well, if it was total yards, it wouldn't be 100-1, and it wouldn't be a D-Gen's only prop bet.
That's true. That's true, man. Listen, people got to ask questions. We got a lot of time. To talk about one game. Anything you're parlaying this game with for the weekend, Sean? Well, anything you're teasing it to this weekend?
Again, I'm staying away from the tease because the line's so short for the Colts. Another prop bet I like. Give me Colts first team to score -110. That feels pretty good. Kramer, we haven't even talked about the field goal props.
We're all in on the Colts at this point.
As the K-ball specialist, longest field goal in the game, I'm going under 46 yards. Again, the Colts kicker.
Well, there's only one kicker in this game, Sean. So why not take? I mean,
Gostkowski is washed for the Titans.
The one kicker, he is. He's pretty good.
Blankenship for the Colts. He's missed some extra points. He's not amazingly accurate. He's missed extra points in a dome. Now you're putting him outdoors on Thursday night, and you expect him to hit over 46 yards on a field goal. I love the under. I am a little worried. They're showing some shots here in the pregame show of AJ Brown in a badass visor. I'm a little worried about that. Not gonna lie. We got some questions coming in.
Sean.
James Lill.
I see a lot of TY questions. Logan Banks wants to know: is he healthy, and is he going to finally do something? Listen, Phillip Rivers insider Justin Decker, from the get-go, said sell TY. TY is not a Phillip Rivers receiver. TY is not going to do shit with Phillip Rivers. And what have we seen this year, Sean? He hasn't done a goddamn thing. Now, will he have a random big game? I think so, but I think it's going to come on turf, not on the long grass in Tennessee. Again, I think it's Pittman tonight. While the number might be teasing you because it is 35.5 yards for TY, which is 1 catch. Yeah. It could be 1 catch. I absolutely love the Pittman angle here. So, yeah, contrarian captaincy, definitely. I just don't like it.
I know we're going all in on the Colts, but I'm with you, Ryan. T.Y. Hilton, to me, just kind of been a bust, and now he's coming off a soft tissue injury. It always takes the. I mean,
Sean's a soft tissue injury specialist.
I'm a soft tissue expert, and I just don't see him coming back in and having that big play or getting enough targets to warrant that. So maybe they force feed him a couple targets early, and that's how you get to the over. But I'm on the under there, even though we're all over Phillip Rivers, over on completions.
Someone's getting their ass beat behind us. Looks like. What else we got? I see people asking about college help. I like that. Just infringing on the National Football League with college. Looks like it's been canceled this weekend. Sorry. Half the games already postponed.
A lot of games postponed, but again, that just extends the college football season.
Maybe they can get
not a problem.
Maybe they'll call Les Miles, see if he's available to bring Kansas out for a game.
What else you got, Ryan? We got some other. We've hit on the Phillip Rivers completions over. I got it at 23.5.
Okay.
Did you bet it at 24? I think the sheet says 24, but I think we actually got
it's 23.5.
Yes.
Why so high on Pittman? Ghost Town Tomato wants to know. Because we've watched Phillip Rivers for many years and we know who he likes to throw the ball to. Go watch the tape. Tyrell Williams, any of these guys, he likes throwing to big physical receivers. Michael Pittman is a big physical receiver, and I really, really think they've been trying to get him more and more involved because they know Ty is just not the guy for Phillip.
So we got Go Bearcats checking in, friend of the program.
Who gets drunker? Oh no.
Make sure you check out Go Bearcats in Slack.
Just dropped it. If you're not in Slack, he just dropped his DVOA model predictions PDF, which is, I mean, if you're a novice and you print that out and you bring it to the next football watching thing, people are going to think you're fucking Einstein. So definitely, again, Sports Gambling
Podcast. Some
beautiful
mind stuff going on. It's like that Zach Galifianakis gif where all the numbers are moving around. That scene from The Hangover. Let's Go Bearcats figuring out some plays. He likes a parlay with the Colts and the Seahawks. Yes, please get me some of that action. Anytime I get to fade Jared Goff while also taking Russell Wilson coming off a loss, 23-10 against the spread coming off a loss. Yes, please, all over that. And granted, Seattle's defense has looked horrible, but they're coming off a loss. And they're going to get up for this game. And sneakily, the bye week has been bad for teams. Of course, the Eagles are going to be the lone exception this week, but the Seahawks. They're gonna show up in Los Angeles. They're not afraid of Jared Goff. Hopefully they can get one of their cornerbacks healthy. I think that will help them in covering the spread. So yeah, all over the Seahawks. And because I think that spread might get up to 3 points. It started at like a pick. It's slowly getting bet up to 2.
There's opportunity there. Jonathan wants to know who gets drunker tonight. Over on Twitter. Sean minus 150, Kramer plus 125.
No, someone's saying there's value on Kramer. That is not his vice of choice. You got to make that a minus 500 to minus 375 or plus 375 coming back the other way. If you're really considering handicapping who's going to get drunker in Las Vegas.
Sean, we just took synchronized sips. That's got to be a good sign. Look, Pete, we're not talking about Tennessee at all. So let's talk about Tennessee for a little bit. Is there anyone you like on Tennessee? Is there anything you like? Period, that isn't just a blind fade of Tennessee. For me, Jonnu Smith has a matchup today that I think could be exploitable. And while, of course, we're going to be starting him in fantasy in the D-Gens only Superflex Dynasty League, I think he's a guy that, I don't know, are you playing him to score a touchdown? Are you playing his yardage? To me, I'm playing for him to score a touchdown. I think he finds the end zone. I think if they find the end zone, it's going to be through Jonnu Smith. If you're asking me between receptions and yards, I'm going to take a stab on the yards. I think he might pop for something over the middle, a seam play. Indy has been beat kind of further down the field this year, and I just worry that Tennessee needs the running game to make that effective. So wait and see. The other thing that I would advise on the Tennessee side is to take the Ryan Tannehill over interceptions prop today. I saw over.
What was it sitting at?
I saw over a half was only minus 140 earlier.
Yeah, and I think this Colts team can get a little bit of pressure. Again, kind of going back to the big picture, why we like the Colts is that the Tennessee Titans just don't get a pass rush. Now they did get a pass rush against the Bears, but that was just more a statement about what a statue Nick Foles is and how bad that Bears offensive line is, considering all their late injuries and the COVID issues with their offensive line.
They were playing like a practice squad line.
But now you get this Colts offensive line. Now, granted, they aren't top 3 offensive line that we thought, but they're certainly in the mix, top 10, maybe top 7. They're going to be able to give Phillip Rivers time, and when Phillip Rivers has time, he is successful. That's why we're leaning into Phillip Rivers.
So the counter would be Clowney is healthy. I saw him doing like some
Clowney doesn't do anything.
And that's going to be my point too. Clowney is a false positive.
He's the ultimate false positive.
He hasn't done much since that amazing hit in college against Michigan.
And he is He's one man riding. He is, and this kind of pains me to say it, but Jadeveon Clowney is the Sean Green of DFS. He had one huge hit in the DraftKings, getting second place in the Millionaire Maker, and he's been living off it ever since, much like myself. What do we got here? Cole Morrissey wants to know Phillip Rivers rush yards over under a half. I wish we had the soundboard, Ryan, because you would hear a lock sound effect right now. Lock it up. Phillip Rivers is not getting any rushing yards. They had a prop bet here at the Circa that said Phillip Rivers will have exactly 0 rushing yards. I was worried to touch that because of possible kneel down situations.
And that would be my advice is, but I mean, the fact that you get plus odds, the fact that they are barely a favorite, the fact that this game, there's a good chance this game doesn't end with a kneel down. You could do worse things.
Yeah.
What else do we have here? Alley Cox over 23.5 receiving yards.
Yeah, I think you should do that. I like Trey Burton to get a touchdown. Trey Burton anytime touchdown. I don't know if we can find a price on that, but I would lock that up. Dakota Tillotson. SGP's thoughts on Jonathan Taylor plus 125 for a touchdown. He's on it, possibly, but again, I think Taylor's a bit in the doghouse. I like the longer shot of Jonathan Wilkins or even a Naheem Hines. Those guys to get involved scoring touchdowns for the Colts. I don't know. What do you think, Jonathan Taylor?
I would fade him today. I think there's a real possibility. Frank Reich is an old school guy. We learned this when talking to Don Beebe over the summer. That was a fun conversation. And the bottom line here is old school football coaches, they have a doghouse. Listen, I'm a Giants fan. Tom Coughlin for 10 years. I'm well aware of what a doghouse looks like. David Wilson is still in it. So I absolutely think you fade Taylor today. If you want to play the run, and I mean, it's given us a great price on Wilkins for first touchdown. It's given us a great price on Naheem Hines for first touchdown, and even just to score a touchdown. So I think for me, I'd look to go the other way there. Take Wilkins to score a touchdown.
Well, and remember that game, the game before the Colts had against the Lions at home. What were they doing? They were throwing to Naheem Hines. They were getting Jonathan Wilkins involved in the run game, and they were dinking and dunking. Their defense was making plays, creating turnovers, and that's how they won against the Lions. Granted, they were at home, but this Lions defense is pretty similar to the Titans defense. You look at yards per play, a lot of these metrics, they're just not a good defense. And I think there's going to be a decent opportunity for this Colts team, especially on a short week.
All right, what else do we have? A lot of people talking about my love of the horticulture. 25 mgs all night. All right, this isn't my first fucking rodeo. That might be the appetizer.
That is a warm up for Ryan.
That was the ride out here before I ate the chicken tenders. Listen, I just ordered chicken tenders, so you know where I'm at.
Yes.
What else do we have here? What else? What questions? A lot of folks over in the YouTube channel, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/YouTube. Remember, we are going to. When are we announcing the contest, Sean?
You're right, Ryan. That was a great point.
Did we forget about the contest?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
We're going to be giving away $500, and we're going to do it via a DraftKings contest. Oh. And so all you got to do, go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/locker, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/locker. Sign up there for the DraftKings Sunday lineup, and that will get you ready to go. You put your entry in, and I say we do winner takes all.
Of course we do winner takes all.
Winner takes all. Get the $500. You're good to go.
I don't know if you mentioned this. I'm a little distracted, Sean, but did you mention there's only 200 spots?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh no, I didn't. There are only 200 spots.
So if you miss out,
I'm going to throw them in the YouTube now.
I'm sorry. If you miss out, I'm sorry. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/locker. It's a free DFS contest for Sunday. Free.
Yep.
Winner gets 500.
Sending that into the chat right
Honestly,
now.
you're going to get a lot more than 500 if you just tail our plays tonight. I'm telling you, I'm going to repeat a D-Gen's play because I like it so much. Michael Pittman, 100 yards, a touchdown. Indy wins the game, 61-1. I've been close a couple times, Sean. I famously, last week I gave out a ridiculous prop, and all I needed was the touchdown. Jacoby Myers to go 100 and a touchdown, not even a Pats win. He was clearly going to get there. Of course, doesn't find the end zone thanks to Sham fucking Newton. I'm getting home today. Let's see what else we got here. Henry multiple touchdowns from Andrew Robb over on YouTube. Look, I'm looking to fade Henry tonight. we discussed this on the way down to the book to make our bets. I don't know if I'd fade the touchdown. You can get plus 130, plus 150 that he doesn't score a touchdown. I don't like that. As far as him scoring multiple touchdowns, I don't like that because I think that takes a big run, an explosive play against this Colts team to do that. I don't think they're going to be dabbling in the red zone all that much. So give me under. This is kind of like one of those. I'm going to take a minus 600 favorite as my lock. Yeah, give me the Derrick Henry under 2 touchdowns tonight.
So if you're just tuning in, of course, get in on the $500 DraftKings Showdown contest, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/locker. And what do we like? Jonathan Wilkins, first touchdown, all over that. Phillip Rivers, over 23.5 completions. Of course, longest field goal made, under 46.
I love it. I've got
odds on that, plus 105.
I got you on the. I finally got you on the kicking props. Huh?
Yep. Titans to score first. Throw that in there, and of course, Colts to score first, and Colts to win the game. So that's where we're at least with my picks there. 45 boxes is Edie. He's saying Titans plus 7, Eagles plus 2.5 tees.
Okay.
I like where your head's at.
Around zero.
It's
not
a little dangerous to cross it past 0. And we could be having a special guest joining us soon here, so stay tuned.
Magic Man wants to know, did we stop at Subway on the way here? No, we did not.
Nope.
No, we did not. Who has time to stop there? Thank you for letting us know it's in Barstow, beautiful Barstow, California.
We did. We stopped and got gas there. I got some Camel Snooze, which I'm kicking myself because I left in the car.
They got a vending machine downstairs.
Yeah,
I saw.
exactly.
We'll be all right.
We'll be okay.
What else do we like tonight? Listen, we discussed it earlier. First touchdowns. We're both on Colts. Wilkins is a play we both like. I'm also on Pittman and Burton. I think the Colts get the first touchdown. Man, I really like.
We're all in on the Colts, Ryan.
I really like Pittman over 33.5 yards or whatever you can get right now. I think he has his breakout game. I'm pushing all the chips to the center of the table.
Mike Stack's throwing the Colts in the Survivor.
Oh, that's and 3 times I saw that. That's bold. That's an Onions play.
Onions play. Totally respect that. We're
Taylor wants to know if I ordered chicken tenders or soy tenders. Funny.
Ryan is back on the chicken. Brian Reese wants to know, is Lenny Dykstra come on the show? He's got to be in Vegas.
We saw Lenny earlier. He still is very focused on the slot and his new news network. So congratulations to Lenny Dykstra.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hanging out with Pete Rose, signing autographs.
He was Lenny was doing deep dive. The only trusted source when it comes to election news, Lenny Dykstra. He was all over. He's definitely diving deep, and just stay tuned with Lenny Dykstra. We got to get him back on the podcast, Ryan. Of course, if you want to hear some Lenny Dykstra stories, check out my comedy album, This Loss Hurts Us All. You can get that on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, wherever you get comedy albums. Check it out.
All right, Sean, I got to ask you.
Yes.
First half bet. Are you playing anything in the first half?
I mean, again, all over the Colts. I think I would actually go under 23.5 here if I was taking a first half bet.
I love the prop of more points in the second half. I love that.
Well, Ryan, looks like we got a special guest welcoming on to the show. The man, the myth, the legend are all around here. Derek Stevens. Derek, thanks for coming on the show, man. Appreciate it.
Hey guys, great to see you here.
Great
Cheers,
to see
man.
you.
So what do you guys think of Circa here?
Oh, I mean, it is awesome. You know, when we were driving out here, I kept saying, Ryan, like, all right, this is a work trip. I'm not going to get excited. I'm not going to go crazy. And then I see the sports book. I got, a dozen tickets in my hand. And Ryan, we keep talking about what's awesome about the sportsbook is that it's from a guy like Derek who is like a real sports gambler, and they got drink tickets. Ryan, I was worried they might not have drink tickets. They got drink tickets when you place your bet. I already got some free drinks.
Well, you know what sold me? Craps table. I can see I go, God damn it, this is going to be a problem. Perfect design, Derek.
I
Perfect
love it. I
design.
appreciate that. You know, a lot of people are coming up talking to me about Vegas Vicky, you know, and how the
that's
sign,
great.
how it's a beauty. But I'll tell you what, I think the screen behind you, she's a beauty. I love this screen.
Well, I'll be honest. I've taken no photos of Vegas Vicky. I've taken about 12 photos of this screen. And, you know, when it comes to this stuff, it's really set up and built for guys who like sports. And, you know, I kind of talked about it when we toured the stadium swim and discussed that. And I knew Derek was really onto something when he pointed out that, you know, the servers come from behind, so they don't walk in front of you to block the screen. And that attention to detail really makes a difference when it comes to a sports book and comes to just putting together a great operation. Joining us as well, Mike Palm.
Here,
Mike,
come on, I'll slide
appreciate.
over
Yeah,
here.
scoot in a little bit here.
Sorry, we didn't do the
We're gonna
best job playing it with the microphone, so you guys are going to have to share that one.
There we go. Come on in, Mike.
Yeah, we already got guys
We gotta
checking
get you on
in.
the screen here. We got to huddle up a
Squeeze you
little
down.
bit.
This is a good-looking group. Good-looking group.
This is a group of guys who know one thing, and that's sports gambling. How to put together a great casino. I mean, walk us through it. How's the response been? I've seen a ton on social media, but first couple of weeks, open things up. How you feeling?
Pretty good. I mean, the first couple weeks have been pretty good. The football draw has been good with Stadium Swim, and then with the sports book behind us. So it's been real good. And you know, with our football contest going on, you guys are still in Survivor?
We're still surviving. We had a pretty bad sweat. We had the Steelers, so against the Cowboys, and we've had two crazy sweats this year in the Survivor. That Steelers game, and then we had the Seahawks Sunday night against Kirk Cousins, where they almost blew that, marched down the field. So we're alive, we're surviving, and doing pretty decent in the Circa contest, the Circa Millions.
We were in the top 60 or so, and we just went 0-5. So we're sore.
I heard
we're
you
sore
had,
right now.
You had a goose egg on week 9, but you were doing great up until that.
And Ryan, it was a classic look-ahead spot. We knew we were going to Circa. We knew we were going to be talking about our record, and we got in our own heads, 0-5, but we're alive in the Survivor. I told Ryan, I go, we can't go to the Circa and not be alive in the Survivor contest. We're gonna embarrass ourselves in front of Derek and.
Hey, I want to tell you, we're excited that you're here. This must be Broadcasters Week here.
Oh yeah.
We got Paulie Howard, you know, from VSiN upstairs in a cabana watching the game tonight.
Oh,
we
wow.
got Stanford Steve upstairs.
Oh, really?
nice.
We
Okay.
got Brent Musburger that was down in the VSiN studio.
Wow.
And we got the Sports Gambling Podcast.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Letting
in the
it
Pets
ride.
house.
We got all the DJs watching. I love it.
Yes. Exactly. Derek knows the catchphrase. We're in. Mike, I know you do I know you do a show, the Palm Reader Show. Walk people through like kind of what the premise of that show is.
Well, we've been fortunate enough through the association with Derek to have gotten a forum on several different shows on VSiN, and Brent Musburger actually started this Palm Readers thing back almost 2 years ago, and around Valentine's Day, where he said, you need to put out your picks every day on Twitter so that people can follow. And then it was Matt Humans that came up with, well, let's coin the followers the Palm Readers.
Palm Readers,
love
that's
it.
great.
So,
I love it.
And the tagline is they came for the picks and they stayed for the laughs. So we've tried to keep it light, mix in the humor. Few nuggets of betting information here and there, but have fun with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what people want, because really, let's be honest, picking games in the NFL kind of hard. Although we've been doing nearly 60%.
For most people,
yeah,
it's hard.
exactly.
For most
we've got it figured out. But really, it's it's a bit of a crapshoot. But you get a couple nice nuggets, get you from 50 to 55, 55 to 60, and then it's a little bit more enjoyable winning and stacking up some cash here. We're talking week 10. What is jumping out at you? Are you mostly a trends guy? Like, what are you looking at this week that you really like?
I'm looking at some matchups here. I just don't think that New England is going to be able to stop Baltimore's rushing attack. I think that 7 I don't want you to lay more than a touchdown, but I think certainly 7's a good number to lay in this game. They couldn't stop the Jets. They made Flacco look like Flacco from 6 years ago because he had play action available to him.
Yeah.
What are they going to do with Lamar Jackson and that rushing attack? And the speed of the Baltimore defense, the secondary, much quicker than what New England put out on the field Monday night. I just think this is a nice spot for Baltimore.
Well, and teaser alert, because that's who we're going to roll
Absolutely.
with in the survivor pool this week. So fingers crossed.
You're saving
Baltimore.
Green Bay for the Sunday after Thanksgiving, I think.
We already took them too.
Oh, yeah.
We're aggressive, Mike. We're aggressive.
We're 1 week at a time. 1 week at a time.
Survive in advance.
No plan.
Exactly. You can't survive if you get cute.
Look at this chart of charts this guy put
Ryan,
together.
you would love this.
Let me just, if I may, Derek.
Here, you got to get we're in week 10 right now.
Yes.
But it's week 12. Week 12. You got to circle week 12. That's going to be the tough one.
And then, of course, Circa does a little different with the Thanksgiving week. So we've used our Pittsburgh and Baltimore games. So we're going to have to pick one of those two games, assuming, knock on wood, we get to the Thanksgiving week. Mike, I think you nailed it with the handicap on that New England game. To me, a similar game that it was kind of comparing it to was the way the 49ers came in with that rush-heavy attack and Kyle Shanahan and just ran it down the Patriots' throats. I don't think they have the physicality on that defense to slow them down. Ravens kind of run just a better version of that 49ers offense, and I think they're going to be able to move the ball pretty easily.
Yeah, and use the teaser alert. I also think this game will be very, very heavily used in teasers.
Yes.
Tease Baltimore down to 1. You're gonna. I think actually this is another good teaser week. You got a couple 2.5-point dogs you can tease through 7. That looks good, and then you got the 7 there. So I think you're going to see another. Some weeks aren't built. Last week they're not built for teasers.
Yes.
Certain weeks. This one I think is.
Yeah, and you find some of those small dogs like Seattle +2. That is just asking to be teased.
I think that Anthony Lynn is asking to be teased up to 8.5. He loses every game by 1 score.
Exactly.
And he loses on the last play. I mean, I feel bad for the Chargers fans. At least the teams will get draft picks now, but you got to live through it.
Yeah,
And I'm with you, the teaser stuff. I've already put in a number of open teasers where, I mean, Baltimore stands out. And like you said, some of those short dogs that are almost wrong team favored.
I think you'll see the Bears teased up to 8.5 on Monday night, too, as a home dog against the Vikings.
One of the things that one of the staples of our show is we fade Kirk Cousins in prime time. So we're aligned with that.
Don't need to talk us into that one.
Soldier Field has been a house of horrors for Kirk Cousins through the years, too.
Yeah, it is. It's not been good. How about you, Derek? Any Week 10 lines jump out at you or you find kind of interesting?
Well, one thing I tell you is I just put Jonnu Smith in my lineup tonight after listening to you guys early. I got Mahomes on the bench, so in my fantasy league, I got to do a Titan stack tonight. So I'm going Tannehill, Jonnu, and I got a couple others. So, but I see what you're doing. I mean, you're going to have a Wilkins party right here. Right?
If he wins that first touchdown, drinks are on me.
It feels like we're getting a little value there because there's so many running backs.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is just going to be a great weekend. I agree with Mike completely that this looks like it's going to be a teaser weekend just because of the way the numbers stack up. You don't always have that happen, but it looks like you do this weekend.
Yeah, especially, and again, it's those numbers where you're sitting right along 7.5, and then coming the other way, the short dogs, they're always great to tease up, get it above a touchdown. And you nailed it, Mike, as far as, I mean, my lock of the week is Miami, locked it up at 2.5. I just love what I've seen out of this Miami team. I got, we've been high on them for most of the season, and you can't take Anthony Lynn in this Chargers team right now. Tons of injuries. Bosa's still in the concussion protocol. It's going to be a long flight out there. And in my head, these players, that's got to be factoring in their mental game of just like, oh my God, our coach, we can't figure it out in the fourth quarter. We figure out a way to lose. You got to fade a team like that. But you're right on the tees because at 8.5, they'll be in that game. But I think Miami minus 2.5. I'm all over that. What about the Masters? Have you guys getting a ton of action for the Masters?
Well, what our markets where we got a 12% takeout. I mean, it's sort of ridiculous. Matty Humans pointed out, he left South Point yesterday afternoon. Tiger's 15-1 there. He's 52-1 here. We have tremendous liability to Tiger Woods. I mean,
well, in the first round,
I'm looking at Derek's expression on his face. He's like, I want Tiger winning.
I was gloating that I was able to find a Tiger won't make the cut plus 350, and now I'm like, holy shit. I squeaked out a push with a Wolf versus Tiger heads up in the first round, but boy, Tiger looked good. I'm nervous for you guys.
Well, and I think the idea of fading Tiger, maybe you get a little colder weather in Augusta, maybe Saturday, Sunday, that back starts acting up. At least that was my handicap on it. One of my dark horse guys, we gave out like a fantasy lineup. One of the dark horse guys I had was Lee Westwood, so he was one of my like value plays. It was good to see him come out, have a good round. But I mean, this really, the COVID thing's been really frustrating, but it's created this gambling just cornucopia where you got Maction, you got Thursday night football, we got Friday night college, now Saturday, Sunday, college, NFL, and of course the Fall Masters. It's pretty exciting.
The Fall Masters, unbelievable. You mentioned Lee Westwood. I mean, Lee Westwood could have won 3 Masters if he only had to play on Thursday and Friday.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, historically, it's been unbelievable. But the thing about what Matt Metcalf did at Circa Sports was every 6 hours going up before tee time, he was raising the odds on the contestants that did not get the action. So yesterday we were at 41-1 on Tiger.
Wow.
Went to 45, went to 49. That's the last I saw. Mike had said we went to 52. So it was really unbelievable because he's really focused on maintaining that hold percentage. So you're going to get great value with Circa Sports in these big pools like the Masters pool.
Yeah.
Well, and like Sean was saying, having nightly football has got to be great for people coming through.
Yeah, of course. We love football. we need sports. We need content. So a Tuesday, Wednesday Maction split was about perfect.
Yeah.
There's no hockey. There's no basketball going on right now. So we need Maction.
Yeah, no, it's weird. You're right. There is no regular season NBA, regular season hockey. That looks like that's coming back here in a month. Yeah, I mean, it's just been an exciting time as a sports fan. That we just have the NFL. It's going. Have you seen any sort of crazy line movements towards the end of the week? We do our podcast. We tape it Wednesday night. Then, by the time when we're playing the Circa contest, we lock our picks in on Saturday. We don't play the Thursday game just because of so many crazy variables this season in particular. Have you had any kind of crazy outcomes, line movement shifting late in the week?
Well, one thing Mike had mentioned, and everybody that survived Survivor last weekend, everybody got the sweat.
Yeah.
It didn't matter if you had the Steelers. It didn't matter if you had the Chiefs. And it didn't matter if you had Monday night with New England.
Oh, man.
Everybody, whoever's going to win the first Circa Survivor is going to have a couple memories about how they lived through this sweat. And that was pretty cool. As far as line movements go, we obviously see a lot in college and a little bit more on Monday night. But I'd say that most of that's pretty within the norm.
Yeah, it does seem like college in particular jumps around a bunch. What about the Monday night game coming up, Sunday night game? Any sort of Mike? Any sort of leans on the primetime games coming up for the people?
Well, I gave out 3 plays this week on Gil's show, and one of them was obviously Baltimore. I like this game under tonight, Thursday night.
Yeah.
I think the one thing is that the Colts defense does not give up burst plays in the running game.
Yes.
And the big weapon for Tennessee is for Henry to get these big runs and how quick he is when he can get through the second level. Even when Baltimore being effective last week in the running game, they chipped their way down the field. It wasn't big plays. The other thing is that to be effective against Rivers at this point in your career, you have to have a pass rush, which Tennessee
doesn't have.
No.
And I think people were kind of fooled because they saw Tennessee get a pass rush against Nick Foles and that Bears offense, but that was a lot about the Bears offensive line being banged up, had some guys out on the COVID list. So I agree with you. I think he's going to be able to sit back and really get some easy stuff underneath. We threw out over 23.5 completions. I like that. I think Reich does a good job of scheming up a simple game plan for Phillip Rivers, giving him those easy throws. Do you guys have any? Do you ever find yourself with some liability when it comes to the props, or are they kind of all over the place? What's a common prop bet that everyone loads up on?
People love to bet the first touchdown, first home run. They like those quick result things. That's why first to 15 and basketball's gotten so popular. People want quick decisions because they have in-game options.
Yeah.
And they want to be able to rack up. They want to be able to keep betting during the game. So you see a lot of that. Passing yards is probably the second most commonly bet. Over under quarterback passing yards.
Okay.
So people like to get the whole game sweat on that. I'd say those were probably the two ones where we get liability sometimes. And they'll move. You'll see a passing yards, if it gets hit one way or the other, might move 22, 23 yards on a particular game.
Do you end up having to move the first touchdown lines a lot? Because those seem like, I don't know. I guess I'm intrigued. What do people usually, if a liability does occur with first touchdown, is it usually a running back or that kind of situation? I mean, Cam Newton seemed like the odds-on favorite for the past Monday night game. Did you have to move that line a bunch?
Go ahead.
We took a little bit there, but the favorites lines aren't going to move too much. It's going to be when we get hit with the guy that's 25 or 50 to 1. I'll give you an example of one where we were kind of sleepy. It was the first three-pointer made in the NBA Finals, and we had Miles Leonard at 50 to 1 because we didn't know he was going to start. And then whatever game 3 it was, and a guy popped us for for a nice sized bet. He won $20,000 on it because he had the info before the starting lineup came out that he was going to be obviously if he's starting he couldn't be 50 to 1.
Yeah.
I mean, he's one of 3 guys that can make a 3 on one of 2 teams, right? So, but you got to really pay attention to all that stuff when you have this first stuff. What's going on? Who's starting? Who's in the lineup?
Well, I got to ask Derek because we haven't discussed it yet, but the Circa swim, how has that gone so far? Has it been as magical as you envisioned?
Yeah, I mean, stadium swim's been great. It's another venue. You get to watch football outside. Outside today. The weather's beautiful in
beautiful
Vegas
this week. Yeah.
So it's been great. It's a way to be able to watch the games. You have all the games on. We kind of mix up music during commercials, and it's a whole nother venue, and it's pretty cool. So it's been good so far. And then with the Masters this weekend, it's really unbelievable.
All we're seeing in the chat right now is how much you guys get it. The
Yes,
DJs
exactly.
understand that you get it, Derek. So big. This is awesome. This place is awesome. This is we're calling it the Mecca. Just so you know, this is the Mecca for sports gambling.
Well, I like you saying that. I mean, if the DJs know that, I mean, shit, this took a long time to be able to figure out. I've been in way too many sports books and way too many bars where I have a game and I can't get it, just driving me crazy.
Yep.
There's a lot of decades built into this place.
And he's been doing R&D his entire life, and I can't stress that enough. This is, if you are a sports gambler, which of course you're watching the show, you're a sports gambler. If you could build your own sports book and casino, this truly is it, and it's really an awesome space. It sounds like the game's about to kick off. Want to thank Derek Stevens and Mike Palm for coming on. Obviously, make sure when you're in Vegas, come out here to the Circa Las Vegas. Come out to the Circa Sportsbook. Say hi to the guys. Play some bets. Hang out in the stadium swim. Check out this awesome facility. Kramer, you ready to do it? Wrap things up? Let's go,
I'm ready
baby.
to win some money. Let's go.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green, and he is Ryan.
Big shout out to Derek and Mike for joining us and inviting us to the new Mecca of sports gambling.
Kramer, let it ride. All right.